Hello everyone, this is Maddie with Feed Finesse, where today we will be doing another tutorial for an app which is Scroll. This app is used to create cute, fun, and creative carousel posts on Instagram, such as the one that you might see here, for a little bit of inspiration, or just any general posts that you would like to see feed into each other, kind of like this. So let's begin. If you follow me on TikTok, you already saw a shortened version of this tutorial already on my feed this week, but today we're going to be using the app Scroll with a more in-depth tutorial on how you can create your very own Instagram carousel post. So first off, you can either start from scratch or select from any templates that Scroll may provide. There is a free and pro version, but there's plenty to choose from even on the free templates, as you can see here. So I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch just because I think that that's what's easiest and I can always go back if I need to. So here is the first screen that you will see when you start from scratch to create a Scroll carousel post. To get started with your blank canvas, you are allotted about 4 or 5 of these blank pictures, but you can always add more as well. And then you can select different grids or templates or just another blank square. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one of those. Next, I'm going to add the pictures that I would like to use for this post. So I'm going to do that by hitting the plus button. Here, I have actually already put all the photos that I would like to use into a Chicago folder. So I'm going to add a few of these to get our carousel post started. When I first started experimenting with this app, this was the part that overwhelmed me the most. So what I suggest you do is kind of move around your photos farther away if you know that you want them further down in the post. And then this is what I want my cover photo to be, so I'm going to move this one to the front. And all these extra photos we can get back to later, so I just kind of move them aside until I figure out what the next photo is in my carousel that I want to start with. Of course, you can arrange your photos however you like. Here is one tip that I love to use, however. I kind of like to share my first photo with another one so that when my followers are seeing this post for the first time, they will kind of get a glimpse of that second picture on the right side that you see there. That will kind of give them a little preview into what they're about to experience. You may see here that this photo is going underneath this one. Well, that's not what we want. So once you have your photo selected, you're going to look at this toolbar at the bottom. The words arrange, this button is going to help you to bring these pictures to the front or bring them backwards, and depending on where you want them in your arrangement. Another fun thing I like to play around with is kind of using one of my photos as a backdrop to another photo. For example, for this photo, I'm going to kind of have 2 photos in one here, kind of curating a vibe that I would like to emit with this post. And of course, where this black line is going to be where the picture cuts off. Another really helpful tool that Scroll provides is a removing background tool. I love that a lot of these newer apps are kind of incorporating this tool automatically with their free versions, where in the past I would have to manually cut out these type of shapes if I wanted them to have the background removed. So that's a super helpful tool that Scroll also provides. Alright, now that I kind of have my pictures all aligned the way that I want them to appear, I'm also going to play around with some of the fun extra tools that Scroll provides, like putting text, frames, drawings, or stickers. So let's see the type of stickers that we're working with today. I could also spell out Chicago with these fun letters if I wanted to. So again, this is just something a little bit more fun and creative than the typical Instagram post. It's just going to give your audience a little bit more to look at. And again, it's giving that scrapbook feel, which just feels like a digital memory book for you. As I mentioned during my TikTok tutorial, one of my favorite features about Scroll when you're creating your own post is you can actually get a preview of what it might look like on your Instagram feed. It resizes it to how people are going to be viewing it and scrolling through it. This is super helpful because if there's anything that I don't think looks quite right, I can always move it around, rearrange it to make it look more appealing. Now, once you are done with your post, you can save it to your camera roll or export it straight to Instagram. And that is how you use the app Scroll, a more in-depth tutorial, and how to arrange your photos in an aesthetic way. I'm Maddie with Feed Finesse for all your social media tips, tricks, and trends.